Oh, my head. Where am I? Last thing I remember, I was on a space cruise playing space poker with a space cowboy. He bet me his ship that I would lose, and that's all I can remember. I'm in an office. Oh. Oh. We're in space. We're still on that cruise liner, but oh no. Did I win? Did I win my very own faster than light capable space cruiser? There's Earth. But where is everybody? Oh. I didn't win the crew. It's just me alone on this high class starship. Well, I better get to work. I need to get this thing up and running if I ever want to make any use out of it. There we go, flashlight. We're on the bridge in Captain's quarters. Well, this is where we woke up. It's very fancy. It's holds tourists of all kinds. This is a multi-class vessel that it was on. Remember the bar very well. It's a work in progress, of course. Anyways, we are orbiting Earth in a starship. And ladies and gentlemen, people of all colors and stripes, we are playing Starship Simulator. That is right, I'm going to take a little bit outside of that character. And, yeah, welcome you to a new game that we've been playing a little bit of and been enjoying. This is actually the free tech demo version of it. It went on Kickstarter a little while ago, and it more than met its goal that it needed to make. And so this is an early access look at a game called Starship Simulator. It's available on Steam. Right now we are going to get this starship up and running. There is a tutorial that I got myself familiar with at the beginning that kind of walks you through everything. So, and this is just one of a couple different ways of starting up the game. You don't have to. You can load in the game and have a fully functioning, fully crewed vessel and just do whatever you want to do within the limits of the demo. But currently we took the cold and dark start, which means that we have to bring this this whole ship online, basically. I will link the video that I saw, which got me interested in this, because honestly, it's a video from the developers themselves, and it can explain it so much better than I can. It's a passion project of someone who has a background in architecture, game as well as game design, and what I really liked about this is that every single one of these wires, currently there's some work in progress to be done, but the goal of this game is that every single one of these wires has an actual function. Like, so you see here, G deck forward, when we connect that line, light comes on, and each one of these buttons on every screen that you see has an actual function. When you click it and adjust it, it will do certain different things. If you notice, now we have lights in here. We just turned on the breaker supply, and now what we're going to do is turn on the supply to the reactor. This is kind of like our emergency startup. Everything in the cold and dark start is turned off by default. And an important first step is turning on this map, because this can be a fairly confusing ship. for a little while once you start getting it. It is a circular craft, as you can see here, so it's easy to get turned around or go the wrong way several times over. You have these long extending hallways, and depending on which floor you have, you also have little kind of back room walkways that go around. But we're going to be taking a look at all of that in a little bit. For now, let's just get this reactor online and get started. I'd like to show you basically all that I can of the tech demo for the start, and if y'all are liking this game. See what I mean? I'm trying to go inside the reactor room and I keep getting turned around. There we go. Oh, see, I was probably right there, and then I went the long way. So, still getting used to the game, still getting it. Oh, wow, look at that. Glorious. This is running on Unreal Engine as well. And it's really a beautiful game. I know we're just kind of in the dark right now, and we will be for a little bit, but once we get everything online, things will be a lot better. So right now we have some problems here. We've got our coolant loops that cools the liquids and gases that go into this reactor here. All of those are way too high to produce a reaction, as well as the field coils are turned off because they have no power. We look here at our center bit. This is our actual fusion system, and there's no power running to any of that. And where it says no flow is because we have nothing coming through those coolant lines. Moving on over to electrical, however, we did turn on the electricity to the reactor. So this, we can just go ahead and put that into startup mode, which means that it now has a little bit of power going to the reactor itself. So we're going to go ahead and start the vacuum pump right there. And we can see the top line of the reaction chamber window is going down, the internal pressure. And once that reaches 1 nanopascal, I believe it is, then it will be ready to start bringing this over and start cooling it down. So now we are going to be headed over to the cryogenics room, or the cryogenic storage room right over there. So we are here, so that is just 2 doors down this way. Nope, that's the hallway. 3 doors down. Should have guessed. Alright, so this is where we store our fuel for the whole process. There are people smarter than I on YouTube that can break down exactly what each of these things. I will link another video in there. It was a pretty great breakdown. So if you want to see the real nitty gritty of like, you know, how this pump works here and the sounds that it makes when it does it from an actual person who knows, definitely recommend checking out that video. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of walk my way through this and get this started. Like I said before, this game is the creator really wanted some realism to it. So like I mentioned, that those pipes actually produce electricity. These pipes here will actually produce the simulated liquid coming to the simulated temperature and becoming the simulated gas that goes through there. And as you can see here, it is helium that we use to cool everything. And then over here we have helium-3, which is part of the nuclear propulsion mixture, but we'll get into that very shortly. So first we're going to turn on the chiller. And then we need to turn around here and turn on the, open the valve. And then when we look here at our tank information, we can see that it's slowly starting to fill and the temperature is dropping. So now we need to do that over here with the helium-3. Real fast, there is a reticle that you can use that will easily click on the things you want to click on. I just turned it off for a little bit of cinematic mode. There's also multiple views, so you have a third-person mode. a first-person mode, but this one has some pretty wicked head bobble, so I normally play without it. But I'm going to turn off the HUD because I like the immersion of nothing in my way between me and my view. Anyways, now we're going to move on to the deuterium side, and this is part of the nuclear propulsion power, but it's also part of the ship's weaponry and shield generation, I believe. However, those two things are not yet integrated into this. This is a very new project. I mean, it's been worked on for a while. It's been on Kickstarter for a little bit. For the most part, I think it only arrived as a tech demo on Steam not too long ago. So this is still very much work in progress. So I believe things like these little connection points there are plans for other pieces that will be full. Other background objects are to come. A lot of this ship is still yet to be built out. So you have these bits, but the functionality of this is all correct. So let's go ahead and turn on our deuterium chiller, and then turn around here and open that valve. And with that sound, that tells us that the tank is starting to fill. We're just going to do that on the other side. We carry twice the amount of deuterium as we do helium, because we use it in multiple fashions. All right, so now that we have them both of those turned on, both of these turned on, the tanks are filling and the liquids are chilling. What we need to do is we need to get our pump activated. Like I see here, I believe something's planned to go in between those. But I'm not sure. There is a Discord that you can find out more information. The links in the description below. You can also find out more information there. So we are going to open this pump, and then open the valve that feeds into the pump, and now we are going to power on the pump. There's no screen that really, I mean, this screen tells you the pressure, fill level, temperature of the fill tank, and as you see down there, there's also some more information about the flow rate and pressure, the input and output of this. But like I mentioned before, people smarter than I can kind of explain that a little bit better. I'm just following what the tutorial kind of led me through the process, and oops, I need to turn that on, and then that one on as well. All right, so now we have our pumps and all of our liquids flowing through it. We can go back to the reactor room, and as we see here, we are just around the corner from it. And by corner, I mean edge, rounded edge. And once again, I think we went the wrong way entirely, but that's okay. Circles are hard, directions are hard, but you know what's not hard? Getting this up and running. So now we just need to we're still on startup. Turn that on. The coolant is still too hot. Oh, that's right. So now we need to start pumping the actual liquids into here. So we are going to open that valve. And then we're going to come on over here. And there's 4 valves here, but as you see, they are labeled, so flow goes down out of there, out of the reactor. We want to have the liquids flow into the reactor, so we're going to turn both those on. And then when we come back to our screen, we can see the coils are drastically cooling down, and then once they reach below 20 Kelvin, we can go ahead and turn them on, and they will quickly start cooling down even more than that, because now they have the fluids coming through there. So we're almost done. The output of the pipes was too hot for a second, so we had to just wait for that to go. But now that is done, we can go ahead and look at all of our stuff. And we can initiate the reactor. There we go, everybody. We have created a nuclear reaction that will power our ship and take us wherever we want to go. It will be able to turn on all the lights and keep all of our life support systems operational. It's good stuff. That right there, very good stuff. But for all those things I mentioned, we're going to need battery power, and we do not have that yet. So let's go ahead and increase our... Nope. Well, with a nuclear reactor like this, you can push it to 110%, but let's just keep it at 100 for now. We don't want to overheat anything, but something like 110% would be useful in things like, I don't know, space battles. If you're fighting an opponent, you need a little extra oomph in your power. You need to give it more than all she's got. Then you can go ahead and crank that up to 110%. But we aren't going to be doing any space battles because that is not integrated into it yet. However, the roadmap for this game includes this. This is not an advertisement for this game. I'm not being paid or commissioned in any way for this. It's just, this is a free tech demo, and I kind of wanted to show you all the bits and pieces of it that I can, because I'm pretty interested in this, and I haven't heard very much about it, and so I wanted to kind of share it with y'all. And if this is something that you guys like to play, then I would hope that you would be able to know about it. But anyways, alright, let's keep moving on. We're going to move ourselves from startup mode to supply mode, and now some of the power that is, all that power is now being utilized in various ways, and now we can see more of the screens around us have lit up. So first thing I want to look for is this screen right here. And this is the reactor output distributor, and that takes the power that comes from the reactor, puts it into an internal bus, and then from there we can distribute it to the things that it needs distributing to. So things like our sublight distributor, even though we don't have a sublight engine just yet, we're going to go ahead and connect it. We're going to connect all these things as though they are part of the ship itself. The weapons, we're going to go ahead and connect that as well. Same with the shields. And the FTL, very important. This is the only one that really matters so far, because the FTL is working and useful. So by connecting here now, we are one step closer to actually being able to use this ship to fly around the solar system and potentially more. But what we want in order to get our lights on, see, these are just emergency lights. These are just, to let you know that something's wrong with the ship, that something's not right, and that is because we are running on bare bones power, because we're not running on battery. So we are going to connect the reactor feed to the batteries, and we're going to start getting those connected up and functional. And so as you see here, each one of these little fuse boxes, so to speak, has its own screen. So the sublight propulsion is all set. We don't need to connect any of these, but it is kind of cool to see that the RCS thrusters are all on different powers and everything. Fuses. I'm going to say fuses, but I have a feeling it's something more complicated than that. Once again, not an expert. But so yeah, same thing with our weapons. You've got your forward, your aft, your port, your starboard weapons on all sides, because eventually there will possibly be PvP. This game has multiplayer currently, I believe, but this is also, the whole goal is for this to be a multiplayer kind of role-playing, choose-your-own-adventure sort of thing. So we got shields, we've got our FTL here. Everything is connected by default, so there's nothing we need to do here. When you see it say disconnect, that means that it's currently connected. So nothing we need to do here, but we need to start connecting the main batteries. So we have the reactor output. We don't need to worry about the external feed, and we don't have emergency solar array at the moment. But the reactor now needs to feed into all these batteries. There are 2 sets of batteries for each of the 4 sides. The second battery on each side being one for redundancy, so if something happens to one of the battery arrays, then the second battery array is just ready to start working for it in its place. And once again, that is something that will be very interesting and come into play later if PvP is a thing, because other players can sabotage or potentially sabotage your batteries, and you'll need to either fix it yourself or have friends or even NPCs go, turn on your batteries again. There's also a lot of movable objects. We'll kind of take a look at that later. But okay, so we got the main battery distributors on. We need to go to the G deck. And we are going to go to the outer rings of the craft. So the G deck is also part of engineering, and this is where our battery storage is, the entirety of the outside. There's multiple levels of the cryogenic storage, so you'll see that on several parts. Life support and engineering control room, or life support, there's nothing really in there. I can't remember if there's anything in engineering control room, but we are going to be looking at battery storage right now. So let's go ahead and take a peek into this room. And there's nothing in these blocks yet, but from what it looks like, then there will be stuff here. I'm going through the tech demo because I want to show you what is in store if you just pick this up for yourself right now. There is supposedly there's more advanced versions out there, but that is for Kickstarter backers and stuff. But this is this room, I think, is going to be very cool looking when it's all filled out with the batteries and stuff. And like I mentioned before, everything here is clickable. You can disconnect, you can unmount or turn offline these things. As you see those numbers, the charge level goes up, the time to depletion goes down, and you can get a lot of information here. So if the kind of nitty-gritty, like, not necessarily micromanaging, but like being able to look at all the also look at those fingerprint. Like, do you see when I shine the torch in certain ways, you can kind of see like little fingerprints on certain parts, a lot on that unmount button. A lot of attention to detail. I think this is going to be a really good game. But yeah, so our batteries are connected, as we can see from those screens, and we only need to go into one room, but as we take a peek in here, we can see that all of the battery storage rooms are connected. So now we are going to be going through those little side hallways and into the back rooms, hallways of this ship. It's not a back rooms, but it's the kind of the maintenance hallways. As you see here, they just kind of extend the entire perimeter of the craft. But here we want to turn on or connect our battery arrays, and that will allow the oops, I disconnected those. Here's where I want to connect. There we go. So all the battery arrays are feeding into this internal bus, which will supply the port deck set of battery arrays. We come here, connect the array number 2, and we're just going to do this for all 8 arrays. Well, 6 now. That's already connected. When you do this, you don't need to do, it's basically you skip every two because this one's already connected. As you see, it said disconnect. So we don't have to worry about that. But as we come over here to this one, the forward battery array, go ahead and connect that. And then forward battery array number 2, connect that. And do again with the starboard. Battery 1, battery array number 2. And for the aft side, connect that as well. This one is split up with a little hallway that goes back to the center here. So now we got both of the aft, last one. Guess that was the last one. Alright, well, a quick run around the ship told me that that was the last one. So we've got all of our batteries. Okay, so we've got our fluids going into our reactor, which is giving our reactor power. We've got our reactor powering our batteries, and those batteries are now connected to the ship's equipment, and all of those are on. So now we need to start making all of those connections to all the different floors in the ship. So we come back here. As you see, we are there. The reactor room is right around the corner. In the wrong direction. Once again. Around that corner. See, I was right over there. See, this was the map that I was looking at. I turned my head to the right when I should have just turned my head to the left. You'll get used to it. I'll get used to it. If you have your HUD on, like I don't, up in the top left corner, it actually lets you know the location that you're in. So I'm on F-Deck Engineering. Oh. This is a two-story room apparently. But see, now I'm on G-Deck Engineering. So you have the information. I don't know why I keep looking to the top left, but you have the information there as well. Okay, so now that we have all of our battery arrays connected, we now need to work on the deck distributor. So this distributes power to the port quadrant of decks A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and that is it. There's no the H. But in different ship models, as they're planned to be more than one type of ship, there may be fewer or more decks, depending on this. But this is generally the fuse box to each floor. So now, on the port side of our ship, on all of the floors, we have partial battery. I believe there's still more to be done there. So now let's do that for the forward quadrant. And finally, the last one. Not sure if that was the last one. I messed up something along the way in there, and I just did a little quick speed run. This is actually my second attempt, to be honest. Sometimes when you press the wrong things and you don't know how to fix it, what had happened was I shut off the power for this floor, which stopped the reactor. And then in order to restart it, I had to fix the coolant loop, and that was giving me a lot of trouble. So I decided to just take a quick moment, restart everything from the get-go, and try it again. But yeah, so now we have the deck distributors all taken care of. we are looking for these quadrant distributors, and so this will activate the deck distributor, feeds into the quadrant distributor, and that activates that. We have the deck distributor there, so we need to find the aft quadrant and the port quadrant, and then finally the forward quadrant. There we go. So we got all of those. We just need to the quadrants is regard to, because the deck distributor took care of all the floors above us. The quadrant is turning on everything in this room. So let's do the forward. There we go. Aft. And starboard. And we can tell that this one has already been done because the disconnect is on forward deck distributor as opposed to startup distributor. So that means that that is all fully functional. And with that, we have established power to the whole ship. This reactor is now running smoothly. As far as I know, we can just leave it here. Like, we don't have to do anything else with it. Realistically speaking, once those cryogenic tanks fill up, actually, let's go take a look at that. Once those cryogenic tanks fill up, realistically, we should turn off the piping that leads to it, turn off the pumps and whatnot if they're not necessary. Don't want to overflow our tank. But currently, I don't believe there's any problems that would occur if we did. So everything is ready to go down here. So now it's time to move up to the higher floors and see what we can see. We have one more thing to turn on in the actual ship itself. Here we are. It's so much nicer now that we have light. We can see the floor title. So that was engineering. This is habitation. Once again, this ship is a work in progress, but they have a lot of very nice goals for it. See, there's a RCS system on the craft in all 4 sections. There's supposed to be hydroponics. There's gonna be like a park. This is an empty room for the time being. You know what? Let's go check out the park. But yeah, these will be filled in with stuff eventually, but it's still cool. I mentioned before that one of the developers, the main developer of this, had a background in architecture. So in a lot of games, one of the things that they mentioned in the video is in a lot of games, if you were to peek your head through this wall, it would just be a shell of a building. You know, everything is just meant to be viewed from the inside. However, this game is designed with the idea that these pipes will actually go through in the background. Everything that is built in a structurally significant way. That's a big one. Yeah, and so these crew quarters and stuff make sense. Where is the park? Is it up here? Is it this way? Oh, fell to the 2nd floor. Not sure where that was. A little creepy to tell you the truth. That was a little unsettling. Okay. Oh, we are back on engineering. So we had fallen several floors. I felt like we've fallen several floors. All right. Well, let's not explore what has yet to be built. Let's explore what we can see. So we'll say goodbye to habitation. We will say goodbye to science. However, I will look at the board here. So yeah, so as you see, this was just going to be science labs the whole way through. There are NPCs currently that will wander around. Each of them have different roles, different responsibilities, and so the scientists will, come through and do their job, their daily work. I believe that the NPCs are on schedules, so you'll see them, attend work and then eventually head down to habitation. They'll be on the dining area and whatnot. Very cool stuff. None of this is built out yet, but as you can see, once they start populating it with different stuff, I think it'll be really cool to just wander around here. I'm going to take a quick moment just to show you customized character. This is our character here. Oh, not an admiral. It's supposed to be a captain. But anyways, you have a very minimal character creation here. Just, jacket or no jacket, pants, slacks, boots or no boots, what you want. There's not much here yet, but the important part for this is the rank and roll. So you start up here by the department, and I am set to command to be the captain, so I can, I'm the captain of this ship. However, if I wanted to work in operations and solely just focus on being a pilot, a deck chief, or just maybe even a crew member, maybe I'm not even I'm not in the military, I'm just an ensign, just a civilian helping out with that. Or, I could be an enlisted pilot. I could work in engineering. Basically, everything that we've done here would be the engineer stuff. It'd be the chief engineer. I could be a rank as lieutenant or lieutenant commander. You've got science. If you want to role play as the once those scientists' labs are filled in, you can be a science. You can be the head of science. You can have a rank of sorts. Medical. I'm assuming whenever they do PvP, the med bay will probably have some sort of aspect as well. Sewers, if you want to be just role play as a chef or a janitor on a spaceship, you have that options. I think that's kind of fun. And lastly, if you want to just be a civilian, you could be a passenger, you can be an ambassador, maybe say you have more access to the ship than just the regular civilian passenger. But yeah, if you want to play this game and just be a civilian, eventually you'll be able to, once the NPCs are advanced enough to handle things like battles and traveling to different star systems and everything, you can just kind of kick back and watch as the captain does all that and the crew fixes the damage done. Just kind of see everything unfolding around you. That's the plan, at least. I haven't played around with it, so I don't. I played with NPCs, but not long enough to see if any of them do the tasks of flying the ship or anything like that. But that is the goal, and once again, there's a Kickstarter there, and I believe there is a more up-to-date version of it for the donors, or the backers of that. All right, so here we are on the B deck, which is one below the total, and there's staterooms here, so there's basically just kind of like giant offices for the ambassadors of countries or whatever. The VIP lounge is on this floor, so this is for the civilians and the passengers. What is this? Okay, so that's already connected. Oh, so this is just another access point for the oh okay, I'm gonna stop wandering around. I hear you, game. I hear you. Let me out of here. So I guess it's just more engineering capacity. There was the VIP lounge. Where am I? Right there. Okay. The VIP lounge is built out. We can come in here. Oh yeah, I should have known. There we go. Yeah, so the VIP lounge is here. We can, go ahead and sit. You can sit by using F. You can click and drag pieces of furniture around. And I believe the objects have permanence here, so if I decide that I want to create a little battle scene using our plants here, if I'm just, waiting for a friend to join the server, or, just bored and wanting to just play around with objects, you can do that. And then later, come back to them and see they'll still be in the same place. I even believe that you can quit the game entirely, and just as long as you're on the same save file, it will keep all those objects where you put them. So that's kind of fun. As a longtime player of Skyrim, I like when objects stay where you place them. I like decorating. You can hold right click to zoom in. Helpful navigating those tiny screens, but also very helpful at looking at planets in close detail. So now that we've got our ship, let's just go ahead and head to the bridge, which is the last thing that we need to power before we have full functionality. But this is where we're going to spend the rest of our time in the episode. We don't have very much left, but let's go ahead and turn on our hardware. So now we have our computer systems up and running. We have information on where planets and star systems may reside, but we are only ready once we have the bridge lighting on. This ship is now 100% ready to travel the universe. And when I say the universe, well, I should say the galaxy. We can travel the entire galaxy. And even though I just downgraded it from the universe, that's still very freaking huge. This game is procedurally generated, but there is some realism to it as far as, like, this is Earth, that over there is Alpha Centauri, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Pluto, Jupiter, all the hits. And how you access that is through these terminals here. So we're going to go to this terminal, and we can sit down in this seat here, and this is where you navigate to explore. Now, if you were to have a bunch of friends online and decide you want to role play a Starship Simulator, you could have one friend be the navigator here. They can seek out, or the captain can determine which planet they want to go to, and the navigator can go, okay, let's search this star system, right? Let's visit the moon. And on here, the moon is labeled as Ceres. And when we click that, we get some information about it. It's a dwarf planet with little no atmosphere, orbits an average distance of 2.77 AU around the sun. So there's our moon. So now we can send this information to the helm, and as a single player, you'll get up and then you'll move to this seat. But if you have a crew together, your pilot is right here hanging out in this seat. They can just take the information that you just sent and put it in here. So we are going to use the sensor target, so that gives us a distance of 2.75. Then we are going to engage the autopilot, and that will point us directly at the Earth, because our target is on the other side of that Earth. But that's okay, because there's no collision here. The game just lets you pass right on through. So we are going to, no, not that, we are going to engage our FTL. And since there's no sublight, this is always a fun journey right there. Since there's no sublight engines just yet, we only use the FTL, but we only use it at a certain percentage of its power when doing small little bursts like this. You have your target velocity and your actual speed, and you can see the things passing around you. And there is absolutely no cutscene in this game. As we start to pass closer to our target, well, once we go to farther targets, you'll see a little bit better. But oof, look at that! Look at that, my friends. That is the moon. Oh, it's beautiful. This game is absolutely gorgeous. Things are about to really shine once we start looking at some of the other stuff. But here we are at the moon, and we have our map here, shows our solar system, and we can travel to any one of these. I decided a few targets we're going to hit, some of fan favorites. We are going to go check out Mars next. Rocky planet with a thin atmosphere that orbits the sun at an average distance of 1.52 AU. That orbits at an average distance of 1.52 AU around the sun. Gives some information. You can find out more if you want to read more. But right now we're just going to send those coordinates to the navigation. We're going to use those set. We're going to engage the autopilot. There we go. We're going to engage the autopilot, and that is going to point us in the right direction. There's a couple other star systems there. You can see that they're several light years away. And now we're set to Mars. So let's go ahead and engage the FTL. You can just get up from the navigation seat there and just kind of watch as you approach. And it takes a little bit of time, you know, it's not instantaneous, but once again, there's no cutscenes. We are actually crossing this distance in a relative sense in this game. I'm not entirely sure how this is possible, how such like a large... Look at that. Glorious. Absolutely beautiful. If you want to just, you don't have to do the cold start like I did. That's just one of the ways to start up the game. You can actually, the normal default way, the ship is already fully functional. You start off right here in the office near the helm. So you can just come on here, jump on in, and start exploring planets like within the first 30 seconds. But, you know, if something like the engineering role was interesting to you, you have that ability as well. So I've been doing autopilot this whole time, but I do want to show you that I'm moving this now right here. You have control of the cockpit as well. And if we want to, let's put our reticle on for this. If we want to say we want to go over that way a little bit, we want to look at, oops. There we go. We want to go that way a little bit, look on that side of the planet. So we can turn our FTL up to like 25% and engage it. And we don't have auto navigation on. But as you can see here, we are now, and let's disengage it. There we go. So we just engaged our FTL just a little bit, and gave ourselves a little bit better of a view. But it's on the side now. I want to turn it around this way. And you know what? I actually have a bigger window up top. So let's tilt our vehicle down this way. Now we have a glorious view. Well, maybe the top window wasn't as good. But yeah, look at that. Look at that detail. And on lower decks, there's also over there, as you see, those are all windows. There's an observation room. It's very dark in there, but there's a better view from that room as well. Alright, so now we've seen Mars. I really enjoy Jupiter. That's one of my favorite planets to look at in our solar system. So let's go ahead. We don't even need to sit down, by the way. You can just click Use Sensor Target. Come over here, click Engage. This is part of what the developer means when they say they want like everything to be functional. You know, it doesn't make any sense why, at least in how this game is set up already, doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't be able to click this without sitting in the chair, given everything else. So now we have that. Let's go ahead and hit Engage. We're gonna just skim through the bottom of Mars, but that's okay. Ooh, that's actually kind of fun. I am so excited to explore this game more. I really hope you're liking this. I mean, hopefully, if you've watched this far, it's a good sign that you've been enjoying what we've been looking at. But yeah, so we are now approaching Jupiter, and it comes into view. Absolutely stunning. looking at the little swirls of the storms on Jupiter. That's why Jewel is one of my favorite planets in Kerbal, and I can't wait to explore Jupiter in RP1. Well, let's go. I've got a couple more that I want to hit. I want to show Saturn. Absolutely. Definitely we got to see Saturn's rings. Set in the target. Engage the autopilot. Flip it around a little bit. There we go. And let's engage the FTL. As you see here, we'll probably pass by Uranus and Neptune. You just get to watch them fly by us. There's Pluto. Here we are. Oh, we are landing in the ring. I was thinking we'd be seeing it from the side, but no, we are going to be in the ring. So let's tilt this way a little bit, and let's actually tilt this way a bit. And we can use Shift asterisk key on the number pad and Z to activate our FTL, so we don't have to do the clicking. Now we're speeding up a little bit more. Gonna tilt our way to the side, and we're essentially flying the ship at this point because we're not going too fast. Let's actually crank it up one more and stop the FTL. We're gonna turn ourselves around. There we go. And now we can see the rings. Look at that. So there's a lot of this game you can just do by autopilot. But if you want to like fly over from here to Neptune, all you need to do is point your craft at it, and then turn on the engage the FTL a certain number, probably less than 100%, because if you're doing something really slow. But if you want to go over there to Bernard Star, you know, that's 6 light years away. You'll have to do that at 100%. So now, almost done, but I wanted to visit everyone's favorite, Pluto, because it is definitely included in this. They're not going to deprive you of it, and it actually looks really cool, so I'm going to check that out. Let's engage our autopilot. Flips us around that way. And it's going to be very close. This game is very aptly named. It is absolutely a Starship Simulator, because this is essentially how the developer put it. Is he wanted to make a game where it felt like someone gave you the keys to a starship and then just let you have at it. And that's exactly how it feels when you're playing this game. I was very impressed, and this tech demo is free, so like all these things that I'm doing, all these places that I'm going, you can as well, as long as your computer can handle it. Wow, look at that! You got little sandy bits, rocky bits, the craters. So yeah, a lot of detail in these planets here, and I think, you know, obviously this is just early alpha tech demo, basically even before alpha. So if it's already looking this good, you know, if they get any higher quality resolution, it's going to be phenomenal. Let's tilt ourselves down a little bit, get a little more view of this planet. There we go. So fun. Like, and especially if you do decide to play the cold dark start, it makes it so much more kind of rewarding once you get to this part, because you're like, oh, I turn all these systems on myself. I made sure that the reaction happened. Okay, so one last place I want to go before I call this episode. And if you want to see more, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe we'll make a little something out of this. But I want to look at our stellar region. not our star system, but our stellar region. And we have a whole bunch of these are our closest galactic neighbors to us. I believe the stellar region is, yeah, so we have it set to 10 light years, but if we turn it to 30 light years, we have a lot more options. We can also, we can limit it by B-class stars, so, you know, it shows us that there's 2 of those near us. B holes are black holes. We don't have any in any range so far. We're only 50 light years out, so I believe if we go out and travel further into the system, we'll have more options, you know, because if we only have a display range of 50 light years, so if we go 50 light years out from there, we'll have a whole bunch more. But look at that. Look at that. Ugh, don't you want to feel like a space captain? I freaking love it. Alright, so let's just do 10 light years out. Let's just do our closest neighbors. Alpha Centauri. We've known about Alpha Centauri, and I want to visit it. So let's scan the target of Alpha Centauri, and then that gives us information about it. So we can now see that it's a G-class star with a terrestrial planet, 3 terrestrial planets, a gas dwarf, and a gas giant. And that shows us all the distances that they are from the sun. But let's check out this terrestrial planet. In the information it actually tells you some pretty useful things, like the star's habitable zone extends from 0.56 AU to 0.98 AU, and each star system will have a different range for that, and so you can choose, do I want to see a cold, desolate planet? Then, you know, I'll come out to the far terrestrial planet. But if I want to see something that potentially has life, because this game will potentially have alien life, and I think that's cool. You can gather things and stuff and visit alien worlds and potentially see civilizations. But so let's use our sensor distance. It's only 4.58 light years, so relatively speaking, not too far. We're going to turn our navigation, and we are going to point ourselves to the terrestrial planet that is supposedly in the habitable zone of Alpha Centauri. We're going to take a quick little jaunt as we fly by the moon, or Pluto. Take a quick little jaunt that gets quicker and quicker the closer we get. And this is where the game shines. Is, you know, it's cool to travel around our solar system. Yeah, that's great. There's, you know, there's games that are also similar to that where you can just like look at our solar system, and that's very cool. But it's this interstellar aspect that is where it really shines and makes it the Starship Simulator, not just the Spaceship Simulator. So 48 seconds will arrive, and obviously, you know, you could be doing things all about the ship in different locations while this is going on. So if you are role-playing as a civilian, or your friends are handling this stuff and you don't want to really care, you don't really care about the technical nitty-gritties of flying, but, you know, you like hanging out, you like looking at all this stuff, you can just kind of walk around. You know, you can hang out at the bar downstairs, the VIP lounge. When things are more advanced, you can, you know, go into the science lab and do some science, and then here, you know, it's like, oh, warp target, you know, light speed, full speed ahead. You know what? You come up with your own jargon. But anyways, we are approaching. We are getting all sorts of information here. We're passing by both the gas giants and the dwarfs. There is the star, passing right on by to the closest planet to the star. And here we go. Ooh, looks very icy and very rocky. Let's see, what kind of information we got on this planet? Scan target. I don't think we can pull up the information on the specific targets just yet. I think that's when these planetary system and focus target modes come in. because galactic position, stellar region, star systems, they get more refined as they go. So planetary system is probably where you can get that planetary information, but there just might not be that information just yet. So this was cool. Nice icy planet. It looks supposedly habitable, but maybe it's just not terraformed to be habitable just yet. So lastly, let's just take a quick peek at one of my favorite things in this game, and we'll call it a day. And that is the brilliance of a sun. Already you can see its brilliance is coming upon us. We are passing by the planet. You get a real sense of speed sometimes when you see these things go by you, but you may need to turn down the brightness on your monitor because we are staring at the brilliance of the most powerful energy source known to humankind. Whew. So bright I can't even stare at it. I need shades. But yeah, as we can see in the galactic position, let's look at our stellar range of 50 light years. We have a lot of different places we can go. Each one of these places has, as we can scan there, has their own planets. Like this one has a lot of different planets. And they all seem to be very close together. Oh, this is interesting. You know what? Let's go to this here first. And it's an M-class, our biggest one here. Yeah, I didn't plan for this, but let's go to one more journey, because all those planets very close to the sun is very interesting to me. And that's what I think that's kind of what this game wants you to do, is to have a little bit of exploration. Wow. Oh, is that a... Oh, that's so cool. Let's go. So estimated time of over 999 years, 16.28 light years away. But we'll be there very soon. I'm going to go ahead and just skip ahead to this because honestly, I just want to take a quick peek at this solar system before we head out. Because it just sounds so interesting. There is some time aspect to it. You will find yourself waiting. Sometimes, as you see, we just went from 2 minutes to 1 minute as a time, but I believe this whole trip took about 3.5 minutes to get to here, or will take 3.5 minutes to get to here. So there may be times when you find yourself just needing to entertain yourself while you make the long trek. Obviously, we only went. I'm not sure how far. Oh, look, there's our craft. Oh, that's fun. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, that's us. But yeah, so if you're playing with friends, it's a good time to come up with some games to pass the time away. But obviously, the farther you go, the more distance it has to travel. And as we looked at, let's see, right here, target speed is 2,501,730.7 C, whatever that is. That is our speed. And like I mentioned before, no cutscenes. This entire skybox is essentially our playground. So the game is processing the distance that we came from to this place, going at the rate of speed that we're going, and that's how it comes up with the time to approach, which I think is very cool. I didn't know you could do that. So, ooh, look at all those planets. Look at all those planets. We chose the furthest one out because I figured that would give us the best view of all those planets together. Coming up on a gas dwarf. It's interesting. I like the pattern that it has. But that is not what we came to look at. We came to look at, let's just scooch our way upside down. Showing us other... You know what? Let's point at the sun. Yeah, a lot of terrestrial planets right there. Let's go to the closest one. It's 0.02 away from that. I swear I'm going to end this episode. It is probably way too long. But see, this is what this game is very interesting to me about, is the way that it makes you want to explore out there. And yeah, you're right. You're right. We'll call it here as we come on through, approaching the sun. I guess we targeted this instead. Gorgeous. I'm not gonna do that. That's probably too bright. Blind your monitors. But anyways, that is where I'm going to lead this look at Starship Simulator, a tech demo. Links to all the related content that I mentioned in the video will be in the description below. Check it out if this is something that you're interested in. I highly recommend it. If not, I hope you enjoyed just this little video of a game. If you want to see me cover more content of this, if you want me to try to make a few episodes out of it, let me know that you're interested in it, because I would love to play more of this. But as far as what we can do with it right now, things are a little bit limited. So if I can see a more updated version of it, or if I can come up with a fun little plan of how to utilize what we already have into a video, then I will definitely check out what it would take to do that. What is that up there? Oh, I guess that's part of our ship coming through the window. Glorious. But anyways, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward for another episode of either this or whatever we have going next. If you did, please consider giving me a like, drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.